One system that controls your life because you do certain actions 20,000 times per day, and it controls your energy, your life force, your hormones. Let me explain. Your brain works like an orchestra, and inside are different rhythms. Delta is a double bass, alpha is the guitar, and theta is a flute. Each one plays its own part, and in the ideal state, they work together in harmony, but most of the time this system turns into a noise instead of music. We wake up tired, we sleep poorly, we live in a constant state of overload, and the brain rhythms are synchronized the opposite. You feel clear, focused, energized, calm, fully present, and you feel alive. But when one rhythm dominates, everything falls out of the balance. We lose clarity, we lose focus, we lose connections with ourselves. Let me explain. Beta rhythms is responsible for thinking, focus, and problem solving. But today, it often takes over completely. And like we can't switch off even at night. The body is resting, but the system stays on. Theta and alpha are items of creativity, recovery, and intuition. And right now they're underused for many people. And this is where the story begins. Because breathworks, breathing, is something we do 20,000 times a day, and most people never realize this is one constant input that directly shapes your brain state. Your breath affects brain waves, and brain waves send signals that shape how your body and mind function. You see, a single inhale can become a reset button for you because the electrical signals created through breathing affect the brain. And these patterns influence sleep, attention, emotions, and overall life performance. Our outside world is creating based on our breathing. From a neuropsychologist perspective, this is how consciousness works. Breath, nervous system, brain waves, and emotional state and behavior. And this is also explain how breathing can activate memory, intuition, and inner resources. And today, anxiety, depression, and chronic stress are among the top global health challenges. Harvard Medical School research shows that chronic stress is linked to increased risk cardiovascular disease, sleep disorders, and cognitive fatigue. The UK NHS report shows that 1 out of 5 teenagers, they have signals of clinical anxiety. And globally, emotional burnout has reached recorded levels. We sleep, but we don't really feel rested and recovered. We work, but the mind can't fully focus. And we rest, but the body doesn't feel restored. This happens when the brain waves fall out of the balance. For example, when beta stays constantly overactivated and the nervous system becomes exhausted. But there is a way out. You've probably heard that a lot of Eastern traditions, they use pranayama yoga, Tibetan breath practice, meditation, because when we are during the meditation or breathing techniques, we typically reach out the theta waves. And the theta waves are the waves of our childhood, because all children under 12, they are in theta waves, so that is why you should be very careful what you say. They usually just take this as a truth. But also this is the state of imagination, intuition, and deep conscious learning. It is linked to creative insight and trace like focus. So many breath works in the science and creativity have come from the state of that kind of theta waves. And you've probably heard that Mendeleev saw the periodic table in his dream like this state. Delta brain waves are the deep, silent rhythms of the brain. They active during sleep, very deep meditations, and recovery. This is when the body restores itself. For example, alpha state is relaxed, focused, but calm and kind of a focus. Even if you close your eyes, mind is still awake. This is where clear thinking starts, and this is what is lacking today. Theta state is an active thinking, work, decision, conversation, problem solving, and today it is also being studied through modern tools like HRV monitoring and neuroscience protocols. So this is not abstract, this is the reality, and this is very, very measurable. So breath work can become your most accessible tool for transformation. The brain is not just an organ, it is 86 firing billions of electrical signals which you get every second from your breathing. Every state you experience is a wave pattern, and each pattern has its own frequency. If you want to experience what happens when you regulate your system through breath work and how it influences your outside reality, I invite you to a live energy breathing sessions, breath work. We meet weekly. Look forward to seeing you. Bye.